Hi, my name is Ken McAlpine. Welcome to Our Ventura TV. Thanks for joining us. Our guest today is Greg Woodburn. Greg is a graduate of Ventura High School, and in 2012 he graduated from USC with a major in history and a double minor in entrepreneurship and painting. While he was at USC, he was a Rhodes Scholar finalist, and he ran track, where he received the Willis O. Hunter Award for the student athlete with the highest GPA. I can't tell you what that was. I know it, but it's not important. He also recently received the Pac-12, he was the male recipient of the Pac-12 Leadership Award. And somewhere in between all that, he founded the organization Give Running, which collects used and new running and athletic shoes, cleans them up, and gives them to people in need. His favorite fortune cookie saying is, counting time is not as important as making time count. And so when you learn a little bit about Greg, you'll understand why. Welcome to the show, Greg.
Oh, thanks so much, Ken.
That's a tough intro. There's a lot of things to cover. I wanted to ask, a lot of people run, and obviously you're a dedicated runner, but not as many people give back. What made you decide to give something more than just effort?
Yeah, growing up, I think one of the things that really made me fall in love with running is how there's the team and the individual side, where I really enjoyed training with my teammates and scoring points for the team in big meets, but at the same time, there's always the individual side where you can race against the clock and try to set your personal best, and are you giving your full effort? So that's one thing that really drew me to running with the other sports that I played. And then going into high school at Ventura High, I had a stress fracture in my hip my freshman year, and then as a sophomore, I grew about 6 inches that year. So it's a ridiculous growth spurt, which I'm tall now, but I had a lot of knee injuries and growing pains at the time. So kind of being sidelined from running made me realize just how much it meant to me. So I think of it as running's hard, but not running's harder. And it wasn't just the races, but it was the inside jokes with teammates, and every day feeling myself improving towards those big goals that I'd set at the beginning of the season. So, I mean, a huge part of, I think, how not only did I love to run, but I had that desire to give back is because my older sister and my parents have been so supportive. They helped me see that the best way to put your own challenges or injuries in perspective is to empathize with the challenges other people face.
And it's interesting, too, this is sort of an aside, but you're no stranger to hard work. I mean, you were a walk-on at USC, which has a tremendous track program. And if I recall correctly, your last year you were the captain of the team. Is that right?
Yeah, I was one of the captains on the team my senior year. And yeah, going into USC was just a big goal of mine to continue racing competitively and to walk on the team. So at first, I would just do anything I could to give back for the team. I'd help set up at meets or pick up trash afterwards and do whatever I could to help out, or take the headwind in hard workouts and things. And then, yeah, by senior year, I was elected by the distance runners to be the distance team captain as one of the captains on the track team.
And so where did you get the idea? I mean, it's funny, it's like a lot of what look like simple ideas. Why didn't somebody think of this before? It's a great idea to take, and runners are fussy sometimes. They don't overuse shoes, that's for sure. But where did you get the idea to take used shoes and give them to people who need them? I mean, it's terrific.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think, like you said, a lot of runners will hold on to old shoes they have in their garage or in their closet. And trying to kind of pay forward my love for running or my newfound appreciation for the sport when I was injured and looking to give back, I decided, this was in October of 2006, and by Christmas I set the goal that I wanted to collect 100 pairs of shoes, and clean them up, and then donate them to kids who are less fortunate, because I knew eventually I'd be healthy and be back out there racing and with my teammates, but there were kids that never got that self-confidence or those health benefits because they never had those shoes or the opportunity to begin with. So it just started with a small idea to collect 100 pairs of shoes and donate them, and then as friends and teammates got involved in a local running store and the Ventura County Star helped spread the word, it just snowballed and took off. So by Christmas, I had over 500 pairs of shoes. Then from there, it's just continued to grow.
Okay, I've seen your garage. It's pretty impressive. And also, it's interesting, on your website, which is giverunning.org, you keep I don't know how current it is, probably pretty current, you're an organized guy, but a running tab of the number of shoes, and I thought it was over 13,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, so yeah, as of November 2012, we're over 13,000 pairs of shoes, and that's from shoes that we've collected, cleaned, and donated here in Ventura, but then also at our different chapters around the US and internationally. So yeah, we'll get updates from different temporary shoe campaigns or universities and college clubs when they donate shoes, and we'll keep that in with our tally exactly.
Now, you've had some amazing experiences as a result of Give Running, which you founded yourself. And I know you went to Socorro, Mali, right? Mm-hmm. And can you tell us a little bit about that experience? Was that the first time you'd really been to Africa, and also the first time you'd given shoes in that kind of situation? Yeah,
so at that point, Give Running had been in existence for a few years, but that was my first time personally being able to travel to a developing country and give out shoes in person, which is a very fulfilling experience where we donated shoes locally through Boys and Girls Clubs or after-school programs and worked with other nonprofit organizations donating shoes to sports programs or orphanages, and had gotten some photos and feedback. But being there in person and interacting with the children and the women and the men that we were working with was a really fulfilling experience for me. And when we were in this small village, Socorro is about 450 people, so a very small rural village that we were staying in for 2.5 weeks. And when we gave out the shoes, a lot of times it wasn't someone's first pair of running shoes, it was their first pair of footwear, period. So we'd bring over a pair of shoes from our duffel bags that we thought might fit. Sometimes we'd guess a full size or a half size too small. But instead of telling us away, the people would try to scrunch up their toes or insist that the shoe would fit fine, because having a pair that didn't fit was better than having no shoes at all.
And didn't you have an interesting experience, and I might be getting them confused because you've been there several times now, but with the chief? Wasn't there a chief who, didn't you have a funny experience with the chief and shoes? And can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you have a good memory. Yeah. The chief of Socorro, this village, is the oldest man in the village, and super friendly and open-hearted. He greeted us in his ceremonial garb when we first arrived. So the first pair of shoes that we gave out in the village, I put a pair of athletic socks and shoes on the chief, and when we put them on, he said in Bambara, which is their local language, he said, "This is fantastic. Now I can go play soccer with all the little kids." So he had a great sense of humor and such a wonderful host that it was really enriching for me to be able to give back to these people that had opened up their community and their families to us with such generosity. And I think it made me realize too that we're so fortunate that we have so much here in the States that we take for granted every day. But at the end of the day, all you really need to live a fulfilling life is that that strong sense of community and that open-heartedness and that gratitude.
Yeah, they really welcome you too. And you ran a couple. I mean, you arrived there right with they lost your baggage and everything else, right? So you have like nothing. But you went for a run a couple times, and didn't all the kids join in? And I mean, that whole thing just seemed like a magical glimpse of something that most of us don't get a chance to see.
Yeah, definitely. Things got better and better as the trip went on. When we first arrived, most of our group's bags had gotten lost in our layover in Paris, so somehow they arrived late. So at first, we had 5 duffel bags of running shoes and 1 duffel bag of socks, along with all of my personal items. And the duffel bag with the socks came in, but none of my personal items or the shoes came in. So at first, I'm thinking, this is great. We can give out all these athletic socks, but then we won't have any shoes to donate to people. But then finally, over the next 2 weeks, everything came in. So yeah, once my personal clothes came, I was able to change out of the 1 pair of clothes that I had, which was nice. And then I had running gear, so I was able to go on a few runs in Socorro. And yeah, going on a run the day after donating the shoes, I ran the first few laps of my quarter-mile circuit, kind of circling through the center of town, out around a farm field and back to the middle. At first, I was just running by myself, but then slowly 2 or 3, and then 5 or 6, then finally about 20 kids were running with me.
And isn't that video on your website? The
Yeah.
GiveRunning.org website?
Yeah, on GiveRunning.org we have that video of our experiences giving out the shoes and running with the kids. And yeah, it was a real affirmation that impact I was trying to have with Give Running really was making that difference, that sense of bridging cultures with this community we were with, then seeing the kids running and laughing in the shoes they'd received the day before. It was a really fulfilling, most memorable run of my life.
Wow. And did that sort of give you renewed vigor to really go after this? I mean, that may be a bit grand, but that had to be an amazing experience. Did you come home thinking, okay, this is something that I really want to throw myself into?
Yeah, I think, it definitely was really, kindled my passion even further. And I think it gave me a strong sense of perspective because, giving isn't just that single act where you're putting on that pair of shoes or socks. It's the entire process of, the planning or getting people involved in donating their time or donating their shoes. So I think a lot of times when I'd be sending emails to coordinate logistics or schlepping shoes around, trying to think about those smiles, those lives being impacted on the other side, but kind of bring the whole experience in perspective, that it's not just that one moment, but it's the entire process that makes that gift possible.
And while we're talking about gifts, how can people who are watching this show, they probably have running shoes they're not using, how do they get them to you?
Thanks for asking that, Ken. Yeah, people can go to our website, giverunning.org, and see information there if we have a chapter or a temporary shoe drive in their community. And then in addition to donating running shoes or athletic shoes, we always accept financial contributions. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and with those types of funds we put on running camps and programs for kids, and we also buy new shoes for kids in need. So when we go to an orphanage or do an after-school program, we can make sure all the kids we're working with have the chance to get a new pair of shoes to run forward.
Okay. And actually that's you've gone from your garage to global, basically. Can you tell us a little more about, I mean, it's not just the shoes, you also have these pyramid running camps. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that too? I mean, how Give Running has expanded to touch so many more lives.
Yeah, just as the number of shoes we've been able to donate, totally snowballed beyond my wildest dreams, our initiatives have grown along with that. So in addition to collecting and donating shoes, we also hold running camps with kids, because for me, Give Running, it's more than just about the shoes, it's about using sports and running to teach kids about the positive character traits and life skills that aren't just for success in athletics, but they create that foundation for success in all aspects of life. So when you hold our youth programs, we'll go over injury prevention and nutrition and training and do runs and relay races with them, but we'll also go into goal setting and teamwork and leadership. So yeah, one of the things we use with our name Pyramid Running Camps is we focus on Coach Wooden's pyramid of success and focusing on having kids be the best they can be. And running really lends itself effectively to that sense of focusing that, yeah, we all want to win a race or be there for our teammates, but you can always race against yourself or be the best you can be and try your hardest.
And how about future plans? We have a short time left, so if you could address the future plans for Give Running.
Yeah, so since graduating from USC in 2012, I've been going full-time with Give Running. And yeah, we're continuing to grow our network of chapters and community organizations that we do work locally and internationally. In addition to our shoe campaigns, we're also spreading our running camps and youth initiatives. So right now we're just growing our chapters and trying to get more and more community support so we can continue to give opportunity, give joy, and give running.
And how do you find the time for all this? I mean, I love that fortune cookie saying, I'm thinking, but you've really taken it to levels, it's inspirational. I mean, how do you find the time to take care of all this, especially when you're in school, but even now you plan to go to graduate school,
yeah,
and you're still going to be running Give Running. So how is that possible?
I think for me, I've just been lucky to find something I'm really passionate about and that I really enjoy doing, and that for me, there's times that can be tough or difficult, but I really enjoy the work I'm doing. So when working on my studies, or then I have the balance of going for a nice run, or after that having the time to go do some work for Give Running, that they really balance each other really well. And I think when you find those things you're passionate about, you make the time for it because you care so much about it.
Okay. Well, thanks, Greg. You were wonderful, as I knew you would be. Thank you very much for watching Our Ventura TV. Our guest today has been a very special guest, Greg Woodburn of Give Running. The website is giverunning.org, and there's also a Facebook page, which is...
Just Give Running on Facebook.
Give Running on Facebook. And the Facebook page has the videos. It's quite moving, and you can make that little tick, 13,001 shoe, go up. Thank you very much for joining us.